Brock Lesnar's red face and N-bombs, ladies and gentlemen. If that had to sum up Raw, it's pretty much it. Raw was... Can I just say this? The ending of Raw was terrible, but there was some good things in it, okay? It wasn't as bad as the last 2 weeks. It wasn't, like, as bad as SmackDown has gotten. But, you know, at the same time, and I want to say this, and I have to be very perfectly honest with you guys, whenever there's something slightly good with Raw, a lot of people overhype the fucking shit out of it, okay? Let's be honest to do, okay? Some people are saying that the Raw was amazing. Okay, amazing's a very strong word, people, okay? Just chill out, alright? It wasn't amazing, okay? It was somewhat decent, okay? But, we're gonna get into it and stuff like that. We're obviously gonna get into that crazy shit that happened with that Miz segment. So, here we go. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, you know, that segment was somewhat decent. Roman Reigns got cut off on the microphone. Braun beat the crap out of him. They start tussling in the ring. The ramp, should I say. And what happens is Braun then, like, almost pinatas Roman Reigns right into the ambulance. Very short, very sweet, to the point. I'm glad they did that. If he kept beating Roman Reigns anymore, it would have got ridiculous at this point. I thought that this was somewhat of a decent segment, and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty decent. It does build up Roman and Braun, to be honest with you. And it served its purpose, pretty much. The Hardys and Finn Balor versus Cesaro, Sheamus, and Eli Sampson. So this is the problem with this is that the match, right? I don't have a problem with the match in general. My problem is that you're trying to build up tag teams, right? And I feel as if the way to build tag teams is having singles matches, okay? Have Jeff Hardy versus this guy, Matt Hardy versus this guy. You know, I don't see a need for 3-man tag matches anymore on Raw or SmackDown, unless the story dictates it. But I feel as if with some issues on Raw is that these 3-man, 4-man gauntlet matches, these matches that everyone's involved in, is getting ridiculous. This show is 3 hours, okay? Can we at least have somewhat of a singles match with the Hardys? Because I want to see Jeff. I know Jeff had a singles match, I believe, if I remember. Raw's that somewhat forgettable, I forget. But I'm just sick of these 3-man tag matches. I'm just completely sick of it. I really am. I'm really sick of the whole 3-man tag matches and shit like that. But it is what it is, folks, you know. I mean, the match was, you know, alright. You know, it wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but it was, you know, your pretty much standard 3-man tag match, you know. I just feel as if maybe they could have put more effort into it. Goldust and R-Truth. Now, you either hated this or you love this. Personally, I feel Goldust should have went back to his old persona years ago. And I'm glad that he's going back to it. I feel as if the execution was somewhat lackluster, to be honest. And that's my personal belief. I feel as if you know, I don't think he beat up R-Truth enough. You understand what I mean? Like, I don't think he beat him up enough. It was more like he hit him, and then he had him on the ropes, and the little, like, fling of the leg and stuff. I think that they could have went all out, maybe, like, beat R-Truth with fucking the cameraman or whatever. I think that's Goldust's new almost manager or something. I don't know. But I kind of want Goldust to move on from R-Truth to see what he does in the mid-card. Okay? And a lot of people might think, oh my god, no, Jerry, please don't. No. But I want to see an old-school Goldust because, you know, I want him to go all out. I want to see... Because I was a fan of the old-school Goldust, and I feel once they did, you remember the electrocution thing when he had the stutter? That at one point was funny, but then he didn't really progress after that. Like, he was still, like, friendly Goldust and stuff. And I feel as if a heel old-school Goldust, I think, you know, could work well in the mid-card if it's done right, okay? But, you know, personally, I think Goldust has to beat R-Truth. I mean, I want to make that very perfectly clear. Goldust, if Goldust loses this, that's the momentum gone. He might as well not be in the mid card at all. He has to beat R-Truth. Goldust to beat R-Truth, hopefully. But you know, it is what it is. The segment wasn't perfect, to be honest with it. It is what it is. Okay. Now, I have to apologize on behalf of Americans here, but I don't know who these three guys are. I'm sorry, I'm European, okay? I don't watch the NBA. I'm sure Alan and all you guys all probably know all that, you sports guys. But, like, this is the problem with segments like this. And again, for European fans, like, that don't watch the NBA, having a clue what's going on, like, that's the problem with a lot of these segments, is that, you know, to Americans, you understand really what's going on. Well, not really what's going on, because, and I'll get to what one of the guys said in a minute, but I was confused, like, who they were. I didn't know as well. Oh yeah, by the way, one more thing, forgot to say about this. Yeah, apparently one of the guys from the Transformers movie was on commentary for a match. It was, I could barely hear him. That's how forgettable it was. I think it was the Hardys and Finn Balor and Cesaro versus Eli Sampson. But yeah, first of all, Transformers is shit. Nobody cares about Transformers. I would probably rather watch Raw. Yes, Raw than Transformers. Transformers is that bad, people. Don't go out and watch it. It's a terrible movie. It's horrible. Michael Bay needs to stop making these movies. Thankfully, it's probably the end of the movies that he makes. The Transformers franchise has been butchered since the first one. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Mark Wahlberg is getting on like The Happening. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible fucking movie. Don't watch it, okay? Just don't watch it. It's terrible, okay? But you had one of the idiots that was on that movie that was there. I don't care. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And I seen people tweeting the guy saying, "Oh my god, Transformers is amazing." Stop lying, okay? The only reason why you're tweeting this, guy, is because you want to retweets, because you want your Twitter to be famous, okay? Stop lying to yourself, okay? Like, as people in social media today lost so much of what their opinion is, they care more about what a like or a goddamn retweet is now, and people literally put their opinions to the side now. That's just a little rant on Transformers. I swear to God, it's a terrible movie, okay? It's a terrible movie. Absolutely goddamn terrible. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it was The Miz. Yeah, I think it was actually. Oh, let me see. Yeah, The Miz the N-word was used on this segment with The Miz thing. I'm not gonna say the word for obvious reasons. I'm not saying the word, but he said the N-word, and yeah. A lot of people found it funny. Some people were offended. Some people were writing to WWE saying that they were angry about it and blah blah blah. Personally, I just think that the segment sucked. You know, I'm not here to over what, who, what, where, and why. I'm here just to review segments. The segment was terrible, to be very brutally honest. The Miz segment was cringy. When he took his t-shirt off and he was going mental and crazy and stuff, it just started getting out of control. I just thought it was cringy, like, and I hate cringy shit. Like, if it's funny, like, if it's, like, TNA 2010 funny, okay? And as much as people give crap to TNA in 2010 didn't take itself seriously, okay? If you're gonna go down that route, go down that route. But this was just cringy. This was just cringe, okay? I just couldn't even watch it. It was that bad. It was terrible. Absolutely awful. One of the guys, Ballers, or whatever the hell they're called, I don't know who they are. I have to apologize. I don't know who they are, okay? I just don't know who they are, okay? I'm sorry, okay? But he said the N-word on 3 occasions, apparently. People said it was twice. I think I heard 3 times. WWE made a statement about it, by the way, as well. They actually made a statement. They turned around and went that we apologize. It wasn't a part of the script. Anything that was said does not, you know, the usual kind of legal jumble that they said. Pretty much saying, you know, stop this, you know, please don't hate us, because WWE apparently got a lot of backlash over it, which was crazy, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not reviewing on who said what, where, and the why. I'm more reviewing the segment. I thought the segment was awful. I thought it was terrible. I just thought it was cringy. I couldn't even watch it at times. I didn't know who they were. Okay? Because you have to bear in mind, guys, that's like me saying... That's like Drogba, okay, gonna be on a Raw segment, and you just don't know who that is, okay? Because imagine like a football player, not because you all know who Cristiano Ronaldo is and Messi and stuff, but imagine a football player in Europe and you didn't know who they were, okay, and you just didn't know who they were. You were lost, okay? That's what that is. That to Europeans necessarily. We just don't know. I just didn't know who he was. But anyway. Enzo Mori tries to reunite Big Cass. Right, okay, I thought that this was pretty decent. I know I've given Enzo a lot of crap, but I think he's somewhat improved. Thank God WWE are finally doing somewhat of stories now. Finally. Thought this was a pretty decent segment. I thought it was actually pretty good. It did build up their feud. Pretty much Enzo Mori comes down, pretty much says, let's be friends. Cass says, yeah, okay. Like, pretty much, and then Cass turns on him. And then he, flings, Enzo down the ramp like a wet lattice. Thought this was pretty decent. At the same time, a lot of people might say, well, it doesn't make sense, because why would Enzo, who got jumped by Big Cass, why would he try and be friends with him again? That's what I like about it, because shit like that actually does happen in real life. When somebody turns on you, you want to be friends again. You're like, yo, come on, what happened? Let's come to a mutual agreement. Let's do this, let's do that. And then they turn on you again. That's how real life works, and that does work. I know a lot of people criticized why would Enzo do this, but shit like that does happen in real life. You understand what I mean? So it does make sense. I thought that was actually a pretty decent segment, to be honest. Seth Rollins versus Curtis Axel, didn't care about it. To be honest, I just don't care. Any Bray Wyatt feud now he's in, I just don't care. It's just so boring now. Oh, I'm the Reaper of Souls. I'm gonna go into your keyboard and type something in Google, and I'm gonna oh, look at this, let's make the microphone move, and I'm sick of Bray Wyatt. I'm just sick of him now. I'm getting sick of it. It's getting out of hand. Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins, I think Seth Rollins will probably turn heel. Brock Lesnar falls to Samoa Joe. I thought this pretty decent. I don't know whether WWE listened to me, but I remember when Joe and Brock Lesnar was announced, I said they need to have Brock on more and have Joe and Brock interact more, beat each other up, and that they did. Joe chokes the hell out of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's face bright red. I'm sure you can see the thumbnail. It's absolutely hilarious. But I thought this was a good segment. Good job, WWE. Good job. I know people give you a lot of crap, but good job, okay? Very well done. Very well done. That was actually very, very good. Very, very decent. Some Twat versus Neville. Didn't watch it, skip it. I'm skipping the Cruiserweight division because I'm not a complete and utter idiot. And number one contenders, gauntlet match, didn't care. Now, a lot of people might be surprised by that. A lot of people might say, well, Jerry, thought it was a decent match and stuff like that. I just don't care. I'm burnt out with the women's division. I'm burnt out because of what happened on SmackDown. I'm burnt out with Money in the Bank. And the last thing I wanted to see is a women's gauntlet match. Again, WWE, can you have a one-on... Now, they finally have a one-on-one, which is Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, okay? But can we stop having other women interfere and just have a feud between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks? Do that, that's fine. But I do not believe that this should have been the main event. I feel as if Brock Lesnar and Joe should have been the main event. I feel that would have worked out better. I felt that the whole thing fell flat. To be honest, I just didn't care. I skipped a lot of it, and I just ignored it. So I can't really give a rating for this kind of segment because I just couldn't watch it. Because I'm just sick of what they did on SmackDown. And SmackDown and Raw are the same shows. Come on, people. They are. Not in the, oh, this one's good and that one's good. Because now people are, yeah, this is another thing as well. People are now saying Raw is the new SmackDown, and people are now jumping on the bandwagon saying Raw's amazing and SmackDown sucks. Just fans, just beyond belief, just do my head in, because whether the opposing sides, everyone's gonna take a side, and it's just annoying. It's just so annoying. Like, wrestling fans are the worst. I watched Wrestling Jesus's rant on video on it, and I agree with him that some of these fans are just complete and utter idiots. Like, especially on Twitter as well. Facebook, by the way, I'm removing some people off my Facebook. It's just I'm just looking at my newsfeed. I'm like, ugh, get it off. Like, so anyway, um. Check out Wrestling Jesus' video. It's fucking awesome on that. And the Smart Busters aren't even doing reviews anymore. Even they're sick of this kind of stuff, and I don't blame them. They just gotten to the point where they're burnt out. I was at one point burnt out myself. A lot of you remember for a lot of weeks I didn't do reviews. The reason being is because I was just burnt out. I was similar to, what happened with the Smart Bus and stuff. I couldn't make any jokes about it. I needed time off. I did the whole kind of rant series thing, which I will be working on one at some point. But it was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible. What happened in like a few months ago as well. What happened, I just couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch Raw or SmackDown. I had to do kind of takes on wrestling fans and stuff to refresh myself. But reviews are still going to be on here. SmackDown review is going to be tomorrow. What do I give this Raw? I'm going to give Raw a C. I'm going to give it a C. I'm not going to give it a B minus or a B. I'm just going to give it a C. Okay? I think that's pretty decent. Maybe a C plus. I'll give it a C plus. We'll give it a C plus, okay? C plus, that's the most I can go for it. B's, it has to be, like, B's is very different, depending on it. But anyway, I felt it was a pretty average show. Some terrible segments, some good segments. I felt Raw did put on a good show with the Enzo Amore, Brock Lesnar thing. The Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman thing looks pretty decent. And maybe this, also, Great Balls of Fire, the name of it is just awful. And I can't believe they kept a logo on there. I mean, people are talking about the N-word on this. You've got literal testicles on the screen, for crying out loud. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. This is General Jerry on the General Jerry channel. Signing out.